Show here for this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, aka number 2, movie review. That's right, people. I'm going to basically give you a spoiler. Like, I cannot do spoiler free. I don't know how to do it. Spoiler filled video of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows movie that I just got out of seeing literally 30 minutes ago. If you don't want to know anything about the movie, do not even watch this video until after you've seen the movie, giving it a shot, and come back to this video. Alright, here we go. Number 1. Some plot details. Okay, so following the events, a little bit of backstory, super quick. I saw the first Turtles movie actually on Netflix last year when it was on Netflix. And I really enjoyed it. I had a good time. I had a few laughs. The way the Turtles took down Shredder was cool. This one was, I would say it was more action. More turtle-centric, and it introduced the new characters very well. Number 1, you have obviously the Turtles. You have Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello. There you go. You have your Turtles and what they do. Who doesn't love the Turtles? Let's put it that way. But so you have them, and then you have Shredder, Splinter, obviously, and you have new characters. You have Casey Jones, a returning alumni, April O'Neil. Vernon Fenwick returns in a very cool way. I'll get into that in a moment. And you bring in the police more. You bring in the NYPD a little bit more. You know, overall, and the introduction of Bebop and Rocksteady are really good. That's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but whatever. Look, those are your main characters, and the actors that play them portray them very well. Megan Fox, actually, she's not an actress per se. But she did do a really good job as April O'Neil again. I really liked her performance as April O'Neil. I think her performance as April O'Neil in the first one was not as good. It was okay. This one was a bit of a step up, but it's still not as good. It was a step up, though. Stephen Amell as Casey Jones. He was really good. At first, for the first little bit I saw him, all I could see was Green Arrow. All I saw was Green Arrow. From Arrow. But then as the time went on, I was like, okay, now he's Casey Jones. And to me, at least, that shows that he could have a movie career outside of Arrow, and I think that'd be really good for him. Obviously, the public knows him as Arrow, but having him in Turtles and having him in other movies coming up, he's a really good actor. I mean, he pulled off Casey Jones in a way that I really think he would. And there was no similarity to his acting actions, that's a sense weird to say, but his similarities between his acting on Arrow and his acting on Casey Jones, there was actually a little bit of a difference, and I really liked how he was directed, and I think that was a big step up, was actually changing the director and changing the way the franchise is going to go. Bebop and Rocksteady, cool additions, not like they were a little annoying as characters, but I did have a good time watching them for what they were, because those two characters, let's put it that way, those two characters are what you see in the movie is what they are. Like, what you see is what you get, kind of thing. Where the way they act, the way the characters act before they get mutated, that's how they just are. They actually got an MMA, WWE, something. The guy who plays Rocksteady is actually Sheamus from WWE, or I don't know MMA at all. So he's a fighter. And the guy they got to play Bebop, he was just, I forget what the action is. Anyways, but okay. So that's the cast rundown, yeah. And Shredder obviously comes back. I'll get to that in a second. But that's your overall character and cast rundown. Now, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna give you the plot of the movie. Now, if you're already in this video for it, go for it. But if you want to know nothing about the movie and just go see the movie, stop the video now, and then come back. But for right now, I'm gonna spill the entire movie and completely about what happens in this movie, and you'll have to, you've been warned. Put it that way. Okay. The movie opens up with the Turtles actually getting pizza and going to a Knicks game. Typical New Yorkers, typical Turtles. They do their business, and actually it follows the events of the first movie very well. Vernon Fenwick has taken all the credit though to taking down Shredder, and because the Turtles are still in the shadows, so to speak. They're still in the shade. They're still in the shadows. Part of the title. But then They make some. After that, they go about their business. They stop a robbery, but in the progress, in this fight on the other side of New York, a scientist breaks Shredder out, and basically Shredder helps out this scientist. Oh, I forget the actor's name. I forget. But the actor, the scientist, and Shredder eventually decide to team up and come together and basically the scientist has a teleporting device who actually, when they broke Shredder out of his prison transport, he got pulled out and he got transported into another dimension. That sounds really weird for a Turtles movie, but go with it for a sec. He gets pulled into the other dimension. He was supposed to go back to the scientist's lab, but instead he got pulled into another dimension. And he made a deal with this alien known as Krang. If not, Krang. I could be wrong. Look, correct me if I'm wrong. Krang. Krang was basically the best way I could say, he's a robot. While at the same time he has like his brains are coming out of his robot stomach. It's a little weird. Anyways, but there's that. And actually, throughout the movie flowed very well. A lot of the stuff intertwined and interconnected very well. Actually, how they introduced Casey Jones as the prison actually transferred the driver. The Turtles came out of there, and the new garbage truck. I forget the name of it, but they stopped. They stopped Shredder, but then Shredder got away. There you go. Actually, I really did enjoy. For an hour and a half, they crammed a lot into an hour and a half long movie. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It was crazy. So that was that. You also the way the movie flowed very well. The pace was good. After that, it was kind of hard to follow. The introduction of Casey Jones to the Turtles was really cool. How he's like, "You don't eat us." The humor was actually very well placed throughout the movie. Eventually, they team up. Vernon Fenrir comes back, and the brothers. This is one of those cool things. The Turtles actually started to split up. So like Michelangelo and Mikey and Raphael went off on their own, while Donatello and Leonardo were on their own, stopping something else. And the underlying story arc is that they actually have ooze that corrects, that can make them human, essentially. And throughout the movie, they're trying to fight over it, they're trying to get it. And while they're stopping, the bad guys, they're stopping Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm gonna say there was more story than fighting, but the fighting was still there overall. And I was at the end battle and they had to stop Krang from coming into the Earth dimension. This was a crazy movie, guys. I'm not gonna lie. My mind is like hurting a little bit actually because of actually how crazy it was. The ending was really cool. How they actually were putting a transporter giant weapon. Krang wanted to take over the Earth, so Krang created this giant Death Star looking like object, and he was basically going to project his energy onto New York City and destroy the world. But the Turtles eventually did stop him. I told you, spoilers. And then they save New York. They actually are seen by the police face to face, and they're like, "We're not criminals." And they're just like, "Yes, you are. Get down, you're monsters." Blah blah. And I'm like, okay, that took me out a little bit. I mean, overall, I was still in the movie. I was not hooked per se, but I had a good time viewing it and watching it for what it was. I mean, look, if you're going into this, look, I'm telling you right now, the demographic for this movie is probably an 8 to 12-year-old range. I saw it because I was like, I might as well give it a shot, whatever. Went out, and I was like, this is actually, I had a fun time. I mean, yes, the story was a little convoluted here and there, but overall it flowed very well. For me at least. For some other people, like, I can't believe they made another Turtles, blah, 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 blah. But it was actually a pretty solid movie. The director did a good job. Michael Bay produced. He was probably less involved a little bit, and I think that he could be involved just as much. There was a really cool moment in this. This movie had a super cool moment where actually a Transformer. Now, hear me out for a sec. Michelangelo Mikey gets out of the sewers for a sec and becomes like part of the Halloween type thing. I don't know. It was like a Day of the Dead thing in New York City. Anyways, you see a yellow and black guy, like not a guy, he's in a car, right? But the car is not an actual car. It's a toy car, and he actually gets up and he transforms out of, and he's like, "What's up, man? How you doing? Good costume." He's like, and Mike's like, "Thanks." But the transform, get it? It was what's the word? It was a connection to the Transformers. It was a connection to the Transformers franchise. Therefore, I would say there's a few theories out there right now that's saying that the Turtles and the Transformers exist in the same universe, because this guy apparently dressed up as Bumblebee, and he alluded to the Transformers existing. Now, could we see somewhere down the line a G.I. Joe and Transformers crossover with the Turtles crossing over with the Transformers. I said this, I don't even know when I said this. I think I said this over a year and a half ago on the Super Review Show, and I said, why is Paramount not combining G.I. Joe and Transformers and then having the Turtles cross over with the Transformers? Like, what the hell? You have these iconic characters, and who would not want to see these characters together? And this just kind of alluded to the fact that you could see a Transformers Turtles crossover and team up down the line. Like, let's say Megatron invades New York City. Just as an example. The Turtles are like, hey, I'm here. And then Optimus Prime's like, I am Optimus Prime. I'm here. That'd be really cool. The Transformers Turtles, and then the Joes come in. I mean, they really, I believe in Paramount's mind, they have to be setting up some sort of crossover like that. Because they would not just put a Bumblebee, a guy dressed up as Bumblebee, transforming and then transforming back into going back as a car. They wouldn't just do that and say, oh yeah, we don't have any plans. No, I think in the back of their head, they're like, Turtles, Transformers, Joe, why not? It just makes sense. And just, you go to, there's IDW comic books of the G.I. Joes and the Transformers crossing over a ton. I can go get them now. I'm recording a video. But, I'm sorry I'm getting off this big tangent, but it was so cool, and I think the Paramount's going to build towards that eventually. When? I don't know. Turtles 3, Transformers 6, we don't know yet. But down the line, it probably will happen. And hopefully with G.I. Joe. What's happening with G.I. Joe? Anyways, this is a Turtles review. Why am I doing that? Overall, in conclusion, if you want to go see the Turtles, bring your, if you're an adult watching this review, I would say take your 9-year-old or take your 12-year-old. No more old than 13, maybe. There were some kids in the audience. There is a little bit of swearing, but it's not terrible. If I had to rate this movie, though, from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie a 7.5 or an 8. But I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was not the best movie. I did feel a little like, okay, really? In this movie, but I actually had a really good time watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And you want more turtles, you got more turtles in this movie. It's really fun, especially when they get to the Brazil part. I didn't tell that. You're going to figure that out for yourself. But look, this movie is a boatload of action, a ton of fun, some sad moments in the movie with, the brothers. You have to see it for what it is. It's definitely worth seeing if you want to check it out. Personally, I recommend checking it out as the host of this show. But I really do think that you guys, a lot of my viewers will check it out. And, what do you, I can't say that because it's not news. But look, do you guys want to see Turtles? If I didn't tell you enough, there's more to tell, believe me. And this movie is so much fun. It's a lot of fun. It may leave you a little underwhelmed, but at least you have a good time at the theater. So, for this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows review for the Super Review Show, I'll see you later, and Turtle out. Turtle power!